The PowerFlex 400 drive has ratings and feature set designed for fan and pump applications. One feature which we're going to highlight today with the PowerFlex 400 is what's referred to as auxiliary motor control. The auxiliary motor control allows operation up to 3 line-started motors in addition to the motor being controlled by the VFD or the variable frequency drive. System output can vary from 0%, the drive is running at 0 speed and the auxiliary motors are off, to 400% when the drive-controlled motor and the auxiliary motors are all running at full speed. An internal PID controller uses a reference and a feedback signal to adjust or control the system output. When demand exceeds the first motor's capacity, additional motors are line started using the auxiliary motor control feature of the PowerFlex 400 drive. When this occurs, the VFD reduces the speed of the drive-controlled motor to 0% to make up for the additional demand that's supplied by the auxiliary motor. As demand continues to increase, the VFD continues to increase the output frequency of the drive until it reaches 60 Hz. If demand continues to increase beyond that, additional auxiliary motors are also line started. When demand decreases on the overall system, those auxiliary motors are taken offline and are taken out of the system. A motor interlock function is also available, which allows individual motors to be skipped over or to be taken out of the system if there's an issue with them. An auto swap function is also available, which ensures that even wear takes place on all motors by periodically switching them in and out of the system. The auxiliary motor control feature of the PowerFlex 400 drive is being highlighted with this demo that we had manufactured. This demo consists of a PowerFlex 400 drive, 25 horsepower. We've got 4 motors and pumps which are hidden behind this pedestal here. We've got 2 tanks, an up tank and a bottom tank, which are used to basically contain 50 gallons of water. We've got a switch right here which regulates the flow of water from the top tank to the bottom tank. And we've got some operator devices here which give some type of status indication as to what pump is being controlled, whether it's being controlled by the VFD or the drive, or whether it's being run across the line. So what the system allows us to do, we can adjust the flow or the commanded water level of the upper tank by adjusting a selector switch over here. This input is taken into an analog input of the drive. As the PID error increases, the auxiliary motor control feature of the PowerFlex 400 drive recognizes that, and it line starts additional motors. Here we've got 4 tubes, and in this case, because I increased my system demand to such a state where the tank level is below the reference level, all 4 pumps are currently in operation and are pumping. As my demand or my reference is met, you'll see that these additional motors are then taken offline by the auxiliary motor control feature of the PowerFlex 400 drive. Right here, pump number 2 was taken offline as I've closed the switch or the flow between the upper tank and the bottom tank. If I were to open this switch up again, and now I have flow going from my upper tank to my lower tank, my reference level that I've set via an analog input of the drive will no longer be met. When I do this, additional pumps will line start, and that PI regulator will take control of the system. I've now just opened the flow from the top tank to the bottom tank. And we have a built-in delay time here in the system before the pumps kick in, which is what is taking place right now. So with pump 2, we just started with the VFD. It's ramping up to 60 Hz. After 10 seconds, it will recognize that it no longer keep up. An additional auxiliary motor will be line started. This will continue with an additional pump and an additional pump. We also have the capability to take certain pumps or auxiliary motors offline via digital input to the drive. In this case, I can swap out pump number 2, which is currently being run by the VFD. When I do that, pump 2 will be taken completely offline and the drive-controlled motor will be switched to motor number 3.